In this section, I'm going to show you how to create your own original patterns. Earlier in the course, I mentioned that the TB-03 has two different pattern programming modes. There's an original mode, which works like the TB-03. There's also a brand new step mode, which I find easier to work with. Let's start with step mode. To just make sure we're in step mode, I'm going to hold down function, and we're going to go to mode, and then I do in fact have step selected rather than original. So I'm going to hit function again to exit out of this menu. And for this example, we are in pattern group 3 and I have pattern 4 selected. And let's just play that right now. Now, this is the pattern that's already currently stored here. But I'm now also just going to switch the mode here instead of play into write. And if I do that, you can see that the value has changed and we see a 1 here. Now, when I hit run stop, the same pattern that's stored will still play. So one of the first things I want to do here is just quickly clear the pattern that's stored here. And I'm going to hit the pattern clear button, hold that down, and now hit 4. So now we've cleared the pattern, and if I hit run stop, you can see it's lit and blinking, but we don't hear anything. That's because we've cleared the pattern. So essentially, we now have a blank slate. One of the things here is that the value knob is now going to correspond to the number of steps. And I'm going to show you how to change the number of steps in a pattern just a little bit later. But for now, let's work with all 16 steps. So you can see here we're on step 1. And now I'm going to put the TB-03 into pitch mode by pressing the pitch here. And now let's just hit this C here. And we hear it running. And you also see step 2 is advanced. Let's go up to an F here. And let's maybe go to an F sharp for step 3. And then maybe an A for step 4. And we could repeat that. And then maybe cool. So we've now input notes for all 16 steps in this pattern. And so we've just created a pattern using step mode. And that's one of the basics of just entering the notes. Remember, we went into pitch and selected the different pitches, and we've used this value knob to advance the notes. I could go back if I wanted to and go back to step 1 and change the value. Maybe on step 8, I'll change that too. So that's essentially our note input here. So this is the basics for starting to get the notes here in our step programming mode. In the next tutorial, we're going to pick up right where we left off, and I'm going to show you some of these other functions related to programming patterns.